Good morning. It's Stuart Mitchell here from Mitchell and Son 3D Printing Services. Another great day coming to the end of the week again, which is brilliant. I just wanted to go through a few things that we've recently done. So if I share my screen, going here into the store. One of the things that we obviously do, we do a lot of 3D printing, reproducing parts, classic parts for various different cars, like the ones in the background here. So we do get a lot of requests to make bespoke parts, but something that a little ongoing project that we've assigned to ourselves is to find these classic car the workshop manuals, because one of the things that is just very hard to come by or to find where people aren't charging, because a lot of people like to charge quite a hefty sum for these manuals. There's a large number of websites around the internet that do have free copies of workshop manuals, and they're all sparse, all thrown all over the place. So they're not all in one collected place. So what we are doing is we are going around and we are trying to find as many of these workshop manuals as possible to make available, to make free, so they're free to download. Come onto our website, onto the clicking on the store link, coming in here, and it's download workshop manuals. We have put them on the front pages there just to feature them so people can get used to the idea of them being there. But there's quite a range that we've got so far. So we've got Ford 1949 to 1952 Master Repair Manual, the Lincoln Chev, again Ford 1969 Car Shop Manual, Dodge. But so because our goal is not purely to support cars, but any historic vehicle. So we're finding old tractors, like this 1840s, nice little old tractors, farm equipment. We are obviously the Aston Martin. We got these Austin Gypsy, the Austin Light Utility Vehicle, the Bedford camper truck. Again, more tractors, Ferraris, Datsun, Mini. So this is a Mini Cooper, 1959 to 1969. Ford Traxxas, Fordson Dexter. Again, one of the Ford Traxxas, because a lot of people think of Ford as purely being cars, but Henry Ford does do a lot of tractors and farm equipment as well. The Hino, the Jaguar, Lancia, again Lancia, Lotus, the midget, the MG midget, Rolls Royce, and Toyota. We are going around collecting as many of these. So again, as we load these up onto internet, so I would encourage you to come again. Every now and again, come see how this list is growing, because we will be growing this list, adding more and more as we find more. And it's a free download. Like I said, what we've done is just try to put a little bit of images from the PDF to try and show what's in the PDF and the detail that the PDFs go to. But you just download the PDF, put a little bit of history of each car in there to just make it a little bit more interesting for people. Like we've said, so we've got a few bespoke items that we do make for various different people. If you want to see our bespoke 3D prints, so these are non-car related in that they are quite varied in what they do. We've got a few boats, the bayliner, got a little boat fastener, so the canopy that you put over the boat so you can tie it in the winter time, or if you're parking up the boat and you're not using it, pull that canopy. We've got the little fasteners here, the original fasteners. This is an electrical sprue for putting together various different electrical items. A customer came to us, they wanted a hinge. So this little hinge is for cardboard projects. So when you're making a house out of cardboard, you're making a model out of cardboard, even as a sample, these little hinges work really well. So if I just go into here, I'll show you how they work. So you got the hinge, which is the entire grey bit here, or the brown bit here, is printed as a single unit. It's flexible, it moves to and from. And then you've got the little caps, and I think this will allow me to explode that. That's right. Yes, there we go. So these little caps, you put it on to make the holes in the cardboard, and then these two little caps here press either side to allow the cardboard to hold it together on the cardboard. We've allowed a gap there for the thickness of cardboard, so that so this will be on the cardboard would run on this side here. This will be your hinge on your outside. I mean, you could flip these around, put them on either side, but it makes sense to have them on this side. But we've allowed for that to have a so on this side here, the little caps go in completely, and then that side they plug over. So if I just blow that open again, it shows you. So these little grey caps fit around there to create a little clamp, so that it will hold onto the cardboard and keep the cardboard steady. So that's a few of the bespoke things that we've done recently. This is also for a sewing machine. A lady's come to me, she's asked me, she wants a sewing machine part. This is on a clamp. So again, that there just is a handle clamp. On a sewing machine, I don't actually know what type of sewing machine, so forgive me for that. But something else we have, you can come and request a bespoke design, or just bespoke drawing that we would do for you. We charge £60 for that. If you put the description of what you want, put it in there and tell us exactly what it is you are looking for, and we will get back to you. We do the technical drawings, create the technical drawings to the specification, and we'll deliver them directly to your inbox as well, so that you've got them in a PDF format. And then the physical part, like I said, to manufacture that is 7 to 10 days. So again, looking at purely the car parts. So we've got the various car parts which we've shown you before. You also have gift card. So if you know somebody who wants a particular or even a bespoke item to be made, we have gift cards. A gift card which minimum is £25, up to £200. Again, you can use that to purchase any of the, to give to somebody as a gift, so that they can then come and purchase whatever they want via our website. Or they could use that to pay or part pay for a 3D print or a 3D design. What we use in our to create the 3D designs is Fusion 360. So this is our design platform that we use with the different designs and drawings that we have in here. So I'll show you here. Just open this. If it'll open. For whatever reason, it's not opening. Okay. So this is a indicator light for the rear of a Rootmaster bass. Again, one thing why I like Fusion 360 is you've got the different materials that you can then create the part in. Obviously, this part here, what we've done is taken it from images. We take the images and we will then draw it according to the images to try and get as close to as possible to just hide the bodies. So we get given that indicator lens, and we get asked to draw it. So we'll use Fusion 360, so we can get the contours and the shapes and the angles and to as close as possible as we can. With this lens, what I want to show you here, this lens seems like quite a simple lens to draw. You think, okay, it's just pretty much drawing a lens. But each of these curves here, these arches, are different heights. They also are different angles. So each, for the first 10 arches, is a different angle and a different height to the next 11 arches, which again is got different angles and different heights on it. And then the rest of the arches are all, again, different angles and different heights. So this is what we've had to do in Fusion 360 so that we can create, because what it needs to do is be able to reflect the light when there's light behind the indicator lens. What Fusion 360 allows you to do is then, once you've drawn it, is to get a near to reality rendering. So you can render that in 360 to see how it would work, how it would look, or if the artificial light, because Fusion 360 will try and simulate the real world. It's got a lot of really good design and technology behind it. But what we want to try to do here, as you can see, using the Fusion 360's rendering engine and using a realistic background to get the sunlight and all that kind of stuff to reflect off the different angles that we've tried to achieve to create a replica of the original, because they stopped creating these, or they stopped making these lenses in 1968. So the pattern isn't around anymore for this particular lens. These lenses have to be produced so that they are to the DVLA standard. So what we've done is we've created it so that, as you can see, the light reflects and it comes up into the corner. So we know that when we've got enough angles and the close enough angles so that when light is shone onto this, it'll reflect throughout the entirety of the lens as is required. Because when you've got a bulb over here, because you've got the indicator bulb flashing, you want that to be able to reflect throughout the so that it's dissipating, or it's distributing the light in an even fashion, as you can see there. So we've been able to see and simulate, say, okay, by having the angles, which gives me a level of confidence to know that the angle that I've got there on each of these arches is probably right, because of the fact that we know that the light shining in, or the simulated light shining in, is reflecting throughout the entirety of that lens. Then I can put the lens different angles to try and get the light to reflect in ways like there. See, again, I can see the full length of that lens is being reflected. So this is the beauty of Fusion 360, being able to, before that even goes in production, then we can show that to the customer. Say, look, that is the effect that we're getting from the design that we've created. Obviously, Fusion 360 will allow us to put any type of material in there. So we've used a amber, but it's a translucent amber to try and get that look that we're looking for. So that's how we do that, how the methods that we use, and the mentality that we use to be able to draw this. Now you want to be able to create a technical drawing from that. Fusion 360 will allow you to. It'll allow you to, if it was an assembly, to be able to assemble that and then simulate that in Fusion 360 to ensure the movements are there. You've got also the animation, as I was saying, how with assemblies being able to animate it so it will move backwards and forwards. So if it was again an assembly, that's how we would do. The manufacturing again is using, if I was using CNC machines to manufacture this, I could simulate that in Fusion 360 and get the design to work in a way that would work well on a CNC machine. So that's enabling so that when the design comes out of Fusion 360, there are no teething problems. You can fix all the problems here in Fusion 360 before actually finishing off the design and then sending it out. Again, creating drawings from Fusion 360 is another thing you can do, which is it'll allow you to do the entire object again. If this was and I'll show you with a different one, with an assembly. So I'll use this. You can also, if you're going to create drawings and you've got an assembly where there's multiple units in there that you need the drawings for, instead of creating the drawings for the entire assembly, you can select which parts you want the drawings for. And this is really, really helpful when, like I said, here you have this entire unit. This entire unit is comprised of many parts, as you can see here. So you want to draw in, but you just want a drawing of one part. So I can say drawing, I want a drawing from design, full assembly. No, I only want a drawing of that. So now Fusion 360 will only, even though I've got the entire unit here, Fusion 360 will only create a single drawing of that particular part, which is very useful, especially in an assembly like that. You can then say, okay, that's the only part I want drawn. And Fusion 360 will then create it, and you can say, okay, I want it one. I'm just saying 1 to 1. No. So there, brilliant. And then I can do the dimensions. So you want to create the dimensions. What is the size of that? Do that out, fill it in, and then give it to the customer and say, there we go. As we have here, many, as an example, a finished example. So it's not like when I did my apprenticeship in 1990, we had to have drawing tables, and we had these big drawing boards, these A6 drawing boards, and massive long technical rulers, and draw everything by hand. Now Fusion 360 makes it easy for you. You don't have to sit with figuring out all the angles and that when you're drawing. Where in 1990, when like I said, when I did my apprenticeship as a petrol and diesel mechanic, we had to sit and draw these all by hand. You don't have to do that anymore, which makes life easy. It makes it quick, but also gives a lot of our customers will ask. They'll say, come to us and say, well, we give them the 3D model, give them the example of the 3D model. They say, this is our 3D model. They say, okay, that's brilliant. Can we have a technical drawing? And then we'll issue the technical drawing, which is very, very helpful in that regard. So that's us, Dwight Mitchell at Mitchell & Son 3D Printing Services. You are welcome to contact us if you have any questions or queries, or you'd like us to look at a project for you and to give you a quote. We are very happy for you to contact us. Our contact details, if I scroll all the way down to the bottom, it says info@mitchellson.co.uk. You can call me on 02381244996 or on my mobile on 07876131539. Before I go, a couple of things I wanted to show you here. This is a number of the bigger names in classic cars are starting to turn to, or have started to turn to, using 3D printing as a means to solve their spare issues. Jaguar is one. Porsche Classic, which is a division of Porsche, is looking at 3D printing as a source and a manner to solve the spare shortage issues. Now this is an interesting thing. Elvis's BMW, they have now partially restored that using additive manufacturing. The engineers that have restored the car have said that without 3D printing and additive manufacturing being available, it would have been near impossible to recreate the car because the parts just aren't available anymore. So that's quite a good positive story for 3D printing and using 3D printing in the classic car environment. Again, Volkswagen is using it. Ford is using it to create bespoke tools in their industry, in their manufacturing industry. So contact us. Let us know a little bit more about your project, how you found us. And here we have a little, you can click here and let us know, show us the images. If you've got images that you want to, that relate to your project. But when you upload those images, make sure they've got dimensions, because a lot of people send me images and an image is nothing without any dimensions. I can't give you any conclusive quote without any dimensions on the image, because people say, can you print this? Well, how big is it? What is it? What's the sizes? Because yes, it's the principle of, but there are restrictions to how the size of a 3D printed item. So if you're going to load images on there, please make sure that it's got dimensions, so that we can then give you an accurate quote or a very good estimate, a close enough estimate. Just sending me a blank image and saying, can you print that? Give me images. I mean, give me dimensions. I don't know without proper dimensions. Anyway, so that's Dwight Mitchell. Thank you for listening to me, and hope to hear from you soon.